Buff Nation, what's going on? BWBs, all of my bandwagon buffs, what's going on? I hope all is well. I hope everybody's doing well today. I hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for joining TLP Live. Well, listen, you are watching, let me get this intro correct, okay? You're watching TLP Sports Club. It's Monday, all right? So that means you are watching TLP Live Monday Night Football. So welcome to the show, guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I am your host, Harry Billion, or Harry B, all right? Y'all can call me Harry B. So, every now and then, somebody says Coach Prime is not staying at Colorado. And recently, Paul Finebaum has been really, all right, Coach Prime has been living rent-free in Paul Finebaum for Paul Finebaum's head, all right? So we're going to talk about why is he suggesting that Coach Prime goes to USC and why people are not trying to leave this Coach Prime leaving thing alone. It's like, let it go already. We're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about Colorado's. We're going to talk about some of their positions. We're going to go into some of their positions. All right. If we have some time, we're probably not going to have time to get to this, but if we do have some time, I want to get back to what we were doing when we were talking about the actual different teams that Colorado may meet in the Big 12 championship if Colorado is blessed enough to get there. All right. If everything works well, God willing, Colorado gets there. Iowa State, we might meet Iowa State. So we may talk about Iowa State and talk about their schedule and give you more information and see if we beat our Iowa State or do we not beat Iowa State. So we're going to talk about a couple of things, all right? And then also, so we're going to talk about that and more, actually, on this show tonight. And just to let you know, guys, on your screen, right here above on this side of my head, if you just look on there, you'll see if you're watching live or if you're watching and you can see on the screen and you're not watching, you're not just listening to the audio, join tlplive@gmail.com. That is the email to call into the show. If you want to join the conversation, join tlplive@gmail.com. That is the email you use to call. And then I will send you a link. You click on that link, you can come on and we can have this discussion. So, but anyways, I appreciate you watching. If you are watching, do me a favor, please, and hit that like button. Hit the thumbs up. It actually gives the algorithm the shimmies. And it says, hey, Harry B and TLP Sports Club's live. And you should join them if you are interested. So please do me a favor and do that for me if you can. Some people are just watching on their screens and not clicking that button, but it's all good. If you can, just click on it. And if you can't, I understand. All right. But like I said, if you want to join the show, guys, write down the email. I'm going to take that off your screen pretty soon. Excuse me. Join tlplive@gmail.com. That is the email. You email me. I send you a link. You come onto the show. We discuss. Bada boom, bada bang. Okay. All right. Tyree Harris says USC ain't happening. Well, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to play you the clip, and then we'll have a discussion, guys. So, basically, I know Coach Prime has said several times that he's not trying to go anywhere. I think a lot of people are misinformed or misunderstood that Coach Prime is seeking his journey to becoming, I don't know if it's capturing the same kind of energy or the same stature as a player that he had as a player, but Coach Prime is trying to cement his legacy as a coach. And Coach Prime has said several times that he wants to go up to a place where he's going to be needed in a place that has an issue that he can solve. Because that's the type of person that he is. That's the type of, guy that he is, So he stated that several times. So I'm under the impression that Coach Prime is not trying to go anywhere that's already established, and then all he has to do is just coach. Now, obviously, I think anybody would take that situation and inheriting a situation like that would love it. If you look at DeBoer if you look at DeBoer actually going over, I believe it was Washington, going over to Alabama to become their coach, that situation is like a dream job for any coach who would probably, taking over a program like that. Everything is already there. You have the legacy, you have the recruiting, you have everything that you need right there in-house. And why would somebody turn that down? Let's explore that a little bit. Now, obviously, if Alabama became available for any coach, I don't know that any coach turns it down unless you start thinking like, replacing Nick Saban may be a tall task, but then also, what are the issues? You gotta consider the issues, the fan base. You gotta consider. There's a lot of things to consider. But if I was to take Alabama and take all the issues that may come with it, some of the issues may be like maybe having to deal with fans, maybe their expectations, winning now, and then if I was to take all of the negatives and then, and weigh it next to the positives, I would say there's not enough negative for me not to take an Alabama job. But on the other hand, is Alabama and USC the same thing? I doubt it. I don't think so. So I don't see that Riley is doing a poor job at USC. Now, I believe it was Josh Pate or one of these commentators who said that behind the scenes, Riley is dealing with some mess. He's actually dealing with some people who are, in his way. So if he didn't have people in his way, then he will be able to accomplish the type of things that he wants to accomplish. So what's going on over there at USC where you got a coach over there who is known as the quarterback whisperer? He's just put Caleb Williams in the NFL with, you know what I'm saying? And he took Caleb Williams with him, and then he helped him to get to the NFL. So the number one pick overall, what is it that's causing him to be on the hot seat for him to lose his job and people being unhappy with him? Again, the expectations are very high. The expectations of winning are very high. So you can counter all the negatives and you can say, hey, man, this is a negative, that's a negative. So now, is it the same scenario as a as a Clemson in Alabama, to where if you take all the negatives and all of the bureaucratic things that Coach Prime may have to deal with, is it worth going to USC? Should Coach Prime even consider that at all? And then, does Coach Prime get the keys to the kingdom? I don't think so. I don't think Coach Prime gets the keys to the kingdom, because USC has a strong legacy. USC is, I would say, is one of these programs that you have to deal with a lot more bureaucracy. Not that Coach Prime ain't dealing with bureaucracy over here at Colorado. Coach Prime is dealing with that. But I think the bureaucratic issues that Riley's dealing with over there in Tinseltown is a little different than what Coach Prime has to deal with. First of all, I just made a video and that I just released right before the live, where Coach Prime was given his bonus in December, and the USA Today Sports actually went digging and they found some information about Coach Prime actually receiving his bonus. You know what I'm saying? Which was to the discretion of, it was a discretionary bonus, because Rick George felt like Coach Prime did a great job putting Colorado on the map. So the way that I look at it, Boulder is very appreciative of what Coach Prime has done. But if you were to take those two things, can Coach Prime actually, like, even though, what Paul Finebaum is trying to say, Coach Prime, he has that swagger for Tinseltown and being out there in Hollywood and being out there with LeBron and all of these big, I don't know if you want to call them inflated egos and people, all these superstars out there. Yeah, Coach Prime being prime time, he will probably fit in there. But is that a good idea? I don't know if that's a good idea because of the bureaucratic things that Riley is dealing with. Because Riley's a good coach. So if he's a good coach and he has to deal with that, what do you think Coach Prime will have to deal with when he gets there? If he decides to go there. And then is that a good idea? Let me hear from y'all. It doesn't make sense to me. And I know that Coach Prime is not going anywhere. Now, the conversation keeps coming up. All right? I know the conversation keeps coming up, and I'm on this side of the conversation. I'm on the side of the argument and I keep arguing, and I'm holding down the fort saying Coach Prime is not going anywhere. But then the more and more people talk, you just keep wondering, do people know something that we don't know out here as laymen's? Do they know something the little guys don't know? I don't think Coach Prime, I don't want egg on my face to think that Coach Prime will make a move while I'm out here talking. The second I'm out here talking, we're going to get breaking news. Coach Prime accepted a job at USC and the season didn't even start yet. I don't want to I know I keep playing this defense, I'm thinking I know Coach Prime, we're just content creators trying our best to align ourselves with the values of the guy that we're talking about, which is Coach Prime. So at the end of the day, I'm not I ain't Coach Prime's spokesperson, and I know that, I could be wrong, that I don't think he's going anywhere, but I don't think Coach Prime would go somewhere. I don't think he's leaving. Because I know the Jackson State people will keep saying, well, he said he was going to come over here, but I feel like those circumstances was different. It was different circumstances. It's not the same circumstance. So I don't see Coach Prime going anywhere, and it doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me. And USC, of all places, I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Tyrese Harris, what's up? Tim Smith, what up with you? Dallas, Texas is in the building, baby. All right, producer straight KDT. Don't know what that means, but all right. What's up with you? Hope all is well. Mike, what up with you? Shirley Kimball, how you doing today? Yeah, man, this is weird. Let me make sure I got my email on check. Make sure I'm not letting my people stay out there. Where is my email that I sent some time back? I don't even see that happen. Okay, here it goes. But y'all talk to me in the chat. What do y'all think? Do y'all think? Okay, let's just do hypotheticals. All right. If Coach Prime was to leave Colorado, where is the most desirable destination for Coach Prime? All right, I don't want to play the game, but hey, it's Monday Night Football. Let's just do it. If Coach Prime leaves Colorado, what's the most desirable place, or where do y'all think he should end up? Mike, what did you say? If Deion can't make, let me see. All right, Mike. If Deion can't make it work with $6 million in Colorado and $35 million next door, largest population, nobody will want him. Don't worry, Harry B. What are you saying? If Deion can't make it work with $6 million in Colorado and $35 million next door? I don't know what you're trying to say, Mike. What is the $35 million next door? What does that mean? Largest population. Nobody will want him. Don't worry, Harry. So Tim says SEC is Tim is going with SEC being the, I guess, any SEC. I guess Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is Rick George's alma mater. So go take Vanderbilt. Oh man, I'll be sitting by sometimes and I'll be thinking like, how the heck is Vanderbilt an SEC team? Like they might as well be in the they might as well be in the FCS. How in the world is Vanderbilt SEC? I don't get it, but oh gosh. D Square says, I don't believe Coach Prime is at risk of leaving CU until 2026. And assuming he has a winning season this year and the 2025 season, 2025 to 2026 season. So yeah, all of that stuff I'm debunking. I'm straight up debunking all of that. I don't believe that Coach Prime is going to leave at all. I don't think he's going to leave 2026. And I don't believe he's going to leave anytime soon. I truly believe Coach Prime is going to stay at Colorado and win one. Now, remember, we've had this conversation before, and I said there are some things where something that may cause that to happen, meaning him leaving. I think that thing is going to be somebody behind the scenes wanting him to leave. But the thing that happened at Jackson State, where the members weren't getting along, I don't see that happening here at Colorado. We hadn't gotten any, because you keep in mind, DeStefano, the chancellor, that actually the chancellor just left. Now he's taking an opportunity. I think he was instrumental in Coach Prime getting here as well. But the chancellor just left. DeStefano is out of Boulder now. He's gone to a different opportunity. They're going to get a new chancellor. We don't know anything. We haven't heard any rumors or any kind of like any type of whispers of things going sour yet, at least. Nothing has come about. So I haven't heard anything. So I don't know that Coach Prime, he like D Square said, like there's any type of risk of him wanting to be out of Boulder. All right. So let me see if I can find this clip. I'm probably just gonna have to just play the audio for you where Paul Finebaum is saying that he thinks that Coach Prime should be in the SE. He should be with what's her name? He should be with USC. I believe USC is Big Ten now. I think that's where they went, right? If I'm not mistaken. Forgive me. But yeah, because for copyright reasonings, I can't play the actual clip, but I will be able to play the audio for you guys, so you can so we can discuss this thing. But all right, so let's see here.
But to me, it's about trajectory, and I think he's lost the momentum. He had that town, Stephen. You lived there a lot of the year. You have to win in LA, otherwise you lose badly. And I think he's losing badly. And instead of harping on Lincoln Riley, I've decided to come up with a solution. I thought about this the other day. Okay, maybe he does well, maybe he doesn't. But the answer is really moving forward. And I believe the answer after this season is Deion Sanders. He's going to be tired of Colorado because, quite frankly, it's not prime time. He's done well as he can with his son and Travis Hunter and all the Stephen A's and Shannon Sharp appearances. But that's going to dry up this year because they're not going to be that great. But you put prime in Tinseltown, and I think you have one of the great combinations in history. We just got through talking about, or you did, LeBron. LeBron has owned that town as many others before him. And I think Deion Sanders, as the coach at Southern Cal, is the answer to the problems. Lincoln Riley is a good coach. He's got a great resume. Deion Sanders.
I mean, he had a dig in there. He said they're not going to be good. He always got to take a shot. I don't know about this guy. He always got to take a shot at Prime. Ron said, "Don't entertain Paul's idiocy." Paul always got to take a shot, even when he's trying his best to uplift Prime. Like, he always got to take a shot. I don't get it, man. I don't know why he always got to take a shot, but Let's put this down here. It's like, all right, so what do y'all think? I mean, yeah, I know Coach Prime is going to fit over there in Tinseltown. I understand it. I understand the whole idea of it. But I still can't get past they're not going to be any good this year. Like, I'm waiting for okay, have any of y'all out there in the chat, have any of y'all, when Paul Finebaum is doing this stuff, right, has he taken an opportunity to actually tell you guys or to tell the world the acquisitions, the positions that we have filled, the players that we've gotten? Has Paul Finebaum actually done that work, like some of the friendly media have done, or something that we do here at TLP Sports Club? Has Paul Finebaum actually took time to actually say, all right, you guys got some pieces here and there, and I believe you're going to do X, Y, and Z, but he's totally going off of, you're not, like last year saying you're not going to be good this year. In the Big 12 that we've been taking a look at, and we just know that the Big 12 ain't like that. So, like, you can't name it. Like, unless you really follow the Big 12 closely, you cannot name me, besides Gordon, and AJ Jefferson, besides a few names, you can't really name me that many people in the Big 12. The Big 12 is a football league. You know what I'm saying? It's a football, like, if you are a football fan, a real football fan that just love to watch football teams beat up on each other, the Big 12 is probably a conference you should watch this year. From what I've learned over the time that we've transitioned over to the Big 12, if you are a true football fan, watch the Big 12. All right, you'll see some really good football. Now, I mean, obviously, you got the SEC. If you don't care about watching lopsided football, then watch the Big 12 this year. You're going to see some really good games. But I don't know if Paul Finebaum has actually taken the opportunity to just look at our offensive line, our defensive line, or is he doing that thing where, because you remember Lane Kiffin just roasted him. Lane Kiffin just took him to task. You guys saw the clip, right? Let me see if I can find the clip. Where Lane Kiffin just told him, hopefully it was Lane Kiffin. My memory be, fading here. But Lane Kiffin just took homie to task. Like, Lane Kiffin was like, bruh, I really don't know what you're good at, homie. Like, okay, let's play this clip.
And you said, what a joke I was. I'm the Miley Cyrus of college football coaching, and I should be fired. And they looked at each other, and
let's run that back.
College game day did flash, and they were watching it. I know
y'all can hear this?
I was watching it with them. And you said, what a joke I was. I'm the Miley Cyrus of college football coaching, and I should be fired. And they looked at each other, and later that night I was fired. Yeah. By the way. So, but hey, look what happened. I would have never gotten to work for Coach Saban. All these other things wouldn't happen. So I appreciate you for helping get me fired. Thank you. Look at what you're doing today. You're predicted to go to the play. And look at Miley Cyrus. She's had a nice comeback. So you're wrong on that. I mean, you put me down with that. So really, I don't really know what you're good at. Like you predicted that Coach Saban was done. That didn't happen. You basically said Miley Cyrus stinks, and she's still going. Yeah. Anyway, it's always.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all of these times, like, you got somebody who loves to have these hot takes, right? You got somebody who does these hot takes, but his hot takes and his predictions, they don't work. How do you predict that Nick Saban was going to bomb? He didn't bomb. You said Lane Kiffin wasn't going to be anything. He was the Miley Cyrus of college football, right? I don't know where you would get that from. Which you're thinking, like Miley Cyrus wasn't going to do anything, and then she goes on. She has like you know, what did she have that Wrecking Ball song or whatever? She had a couple of hits, and she held her own. She came from Lizzie McGuire or something like that. She was doing television, and then she turned into a singer, and then she did her singing thing, and then she did good. So Paul Finebaum keeps making these predictions, and they keep falling flat. He said Lane Kiffin wasn't going to do anything. As well, I'm going to let y'all know that we're kind of battling Lane Kiffin of Ole Miss. We're battling him for the throne of the transfer portal. Him and Coach Prime are neck and neck. So Lane Kiffin he's killing it, right? He took one of our guys, right? He took Amos from us. So Lane Kiffin is doing his thing in the transfer portal. He's one of those transfer portal guys who worked for Nick Saban, or he worked with Nick Saban, right? So we got all these situations where Paul Finebaum is just bombing. Like everything he says, he's bombing. Can anybody in the chat, right? Can any of y'all tell me his history? What did he predict, right? What has Paul Finebaum predicted, and it happened like he said? I mean, please y'all help me out tonight, because I want to know. Oh my goodness. All right, so Ron says, why are you even having this conversation, Harry? Don't drink that Prime moving Kool-Aid, bruh. Please. Man, nah, it's not about drinking nothing, man. I know Prime is not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, football is almost here, okay? We are at the end of pretty much at the end of July, and football is almost here. So before you know it, we'll be talking what the real stats. All right. We'll be talking real stats, but let's just have that conversation. If Prime was to leave, where does he go? Tim said earlier he goes to the SEC. Should he go to Big Ten? All right, and then you gotta think about the elements the things that actually push Prime's buttons, or the things that actually drive him. He needs a problem to solve. Without a problem to solve, he's not trying to do that. He ain't trying to go to a stacked team and then, if you win, if you go to a stacked team in your prime, the team, and DC, close your ears if you're watching, the team is going to be more than his stature. And I believe anywhere Prime goes, he precedes the team, right? His brand precedes the team. So Prime can't go somewhere where, like in Alabama, then it's going to be like Prime is going to disappear, and it's going to be just Alabama, okay? Oh, man, I'm not trying to upset none of y'all legacy people out here. So if Prime goes, where does he go? This is a hypothetical. We're having a little bit of fun on Monday Night Football tonight, guys. A little hypothetical, and then we'll leave this alone, and we'll start talking more about Colorado and Colorado's positions, because I got a few things we need to talk about Colorado's position. So if Prime goes, a few more minutes and we'll leave it alone. If Prime goes, where does he go? Keisha, tell Shishi I'm live. Text Shishi and tell her I'm live. I'm live. She stop calling me. Oh man, I like picking on this position, our inside linebackers. So we're gonna have to talk about our inside linebackers. But before we get to the inside linebackers on Colorado, y'all tell me, if Prime goes, where does he go? Let's just do hypotheticals. Why not? Where do we send Prime if he goes? What up, DC? What's up with you, man? If Prime goes, where does he go? Let's have a little bit of fun with this. Prime coming to prime time, Tinseltown. Roger said, okay, Roger's a USC guy. Hey, Roger, why you're upset? Oh, what's wrong with your coach, Roger? Are y'all not happy with Riley? Why, Roger, help me out, because you have the Trojan logo right there on your avatar. What is wrong with USC? Like, why is it that Riley's not making it happen at USC? Like, what's going on? What is the main issue there? Y'all talk back to me. I know y'all grown people. Y'all probably changing diapers and and trying to listen to me. Riley is all right, but made a major mistake keeping his friend Grinch, the old AD. Wait. What is Grinch? Oh, he was a defensive coordinator. So wait, hold up, Riley. Hold up, Roger. Don't let me get with Tia and Tamir on you, Roger. Hold on, Roger. Hold up. Time out. The AD, he kept Grinch. Is his name Grinch, or you just say he was a Grinch? So Grinch, the old AD became his defensive coordinator? And Grinch is the godfather of Riley's kids. So he was the AD before, and he hired him as the defensive coordinator. Did Grinch ever defensive coordinate? Oh, AD was a typo. Oh, okay. I'm about to say, like, what is going on over there? Okay. All right, Roger. Go home, Roger. Go home, Roger. You go home, Roger, with that typo stuff. Oh man. Oh man, I'm having a little bit of fun tonight. It's Monday Night Football, guys. Okay, so he kept the 8, but I mean, y'all gonna put it all on the the defensive coordinator though? I hear that there's a lot of bureaucracy, Roger. I think it was Josh Pate, if I can remember. I think it was Josh Pate who said there's a lot of bureaucracy going on behind the scenes, and Riley is dealing with, like, he wants to I'll be right with you, common sense buff. Like, he wants to make some changes that the actual bureaucratic guys don't want to see happen. So have you heard anything like that, Roger? But you know what? I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. I think, like, USC is a sexy place for Prime to be at, yo. You know what I'm saying? Now, the only reason why I would say not USC, because Prime's personality is big, and when you go to, like, if you go to a Tinseltown, like, the personality, there's so many different personalities that it may not have the same effect that it may not have the same effect that being at a smaller place has. It's like that whole situation, that whole scenario, that whole what am I talking about? The whole thing when people say small fish, big pond, small fish, sort of like that. Even though Coach Prime's stature is huge, but if you're in a place like USC, then I think it kind of becomes all about winning and not necessarily about a program because you're Prime. You know what I'm saying? But let me bring on Common Sense Buff, and maybe he can help me make some common sense out of this. Hey, Common Sense Buff, what it all, man? How many? Did we help you with the subscribers? Did we help you a little bit there?
Bro, y'all been killing it this week. You see, I got the collared shirt on, man.
Oh, That's
I
good.
feel like we handling business over here at TLP Sports Club, man. Y'all running up the subscription on my side of town, man.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad. I'm glad, and I'm looking forward to seeing some big things from you, man. Every channel that I try to help them, to try to grow because we can all eat. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that things are happening for you, man. Let's make some. Give me some common sense. I'll ask you a question. Okay, if you go to California, right, with all of
Right.
the bloated egos and the bloated personalities and everything there, how does the prime brand fit into there, and then how does that affect football? You know what I'm saying? In prime, it is. Yeah, tell me.
First of all, man, just even talking about it is crazy to me. Thinking about like, okay, like just purely like just from a fan's perspective, we're so bought into the Colorado narrative right now.
Uh-huh.
We gotta watch it until that movie ends. And the movie has to be good. So everything can't go the hero way. Like he just can't go Jackson State, Colorado, USC, and then just start winning national championships, right? The movie is Colorado right now.
Mm-hmm.
Deion Sanders has something to prove, right? That he came to Colorado, like he says, he's a grown man. He don't follow his son. His sons follow him.
Mm-hmm.
Truthfully, Rick George took a chance on him because think about the college football establishment, and Deion Sanders wasn't just applying for the Colorado job, as far as I understand. He
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be a college coach, and other schools look past him, right? So if you're a man, I mean, Prime is self-made, at a level that he would tell you that he only dreamt about, right?
Right. Right.
But he talks about keeping receipts, bro. Like people who overlooked him, this when he says it's personal on a lot of different levels. So the movie is right here in Colorado. And although Prime is made for Hollywood, I think the story is right here. Anything about him leaving right now would be premature, in my personal opinion. He still has something to prove here.
That's what I keep saying. I don't know why people keep thinking like. But then okay, then there's this other thing where Paul Finebaum keeps saying Colorado's going to suck this year. Colorado's not going to be good this year, and Colorado's not like. I don't understand that. Do you? How long have you known Paul Finebaum as far as like a commentator in the sport?
Yeah, so honestly, I wasn't a close follower of sports up until the prime era at Colorado. Now I played sports.
Mm-hmm.
I watch big games, but I'm not I got ESPN going on in the background, right? I'm not that kind of
Mm.
person where I know all these personalities and what their opinions are.
Right.
But Paul Feinbaum keeps coming up because he's one of those guys. Like you described him, he always has a hot take. So this is not unique to Dion, right?
Right. Right.
And in sports media, you're not really used to seeing that on television. Now, if you listen to like sports radio, is where you get the guys with the opinions and making big claims. It's corporate media, right? So when Paul Feinbaum comes on and says something that's a hot take, but it's on TV, it's going to carry,
That's true.
right? It's going to carry. So it's unusual for people to take real firm stances, especially around money makers. Coach Prime is a
Why he
money
keep do-
maker.
Why he keep doing this? Then why do you think Finebaum just keep putting himself way out there like that? I mean, he
I,
goes all the way out there.
yeah, I don't know why he personally does it. I don't think he's making it up. I think this is how he actually feels. But they're gonna keep bringing him on now. They're like, oh, every time we have Paul on, he's gonna say
Yeah.
something wild, and it's gonna carry for 2 3 days, and we can
Yeah.
own the news cycle. So that's basically what it feels like to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so even though what he's saying can be argued, it's not grounded in the reality of where Deion Sanders is
Okay.
today and what he's already building. Like, I don't know about you, Harry B, but it would seem crazy to me to all the parents that he's brought in and sold on his vision if he just bailed after this season. Like, you got to think about the recruits that are there that want to play for him.
Mm-hmm. But the question is, why do you think people believe this stuff? Why do you think people think that that's it can happen? Like, some people actually believe, like, oh well, you should see. Some people they'll keep saying, like, some people would say, well, you should see what he did at with Jackson State. But why do people believe this stuff?
All right, listen,
Like,
I'm not going to talk bad about Jackson State. I'm just not going to talk bad about Jackson State. But you could
well,
go
I don't want you
back
to talk
and
bad about
watch.
Jackson State because I don't want that smoke.
I don't want that smoke either, because if we can't survive that, we can survive the Colorado smoke. We definitely can't survive the Jackson State.
I don't have no reason to talk bad about Jackson State, to tell you the truth. I have no reason
Exactly.
to
Exactly. But
do
that was something I also thought was a net positive, when not even a net positive, like a huge benefit to the attention that Prime brought to historically Black colleges and universities and their sports programs, right? So this is proof positive that wherever Prime goes, the light is going to shine, right?
Right.
So it was shining on HBCUs for the very first time. And everybody was relying on him to be that person long term. Now he
Okay.
decided, maybe I don't want to be the torchbearer for that. I want to be a football coach, right? And maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's why he left. Who knows, right? But I think this situation in Colorado, I don't want to necessarily say it's different, but I just feel like talking about an exit now is even more premature than talking about an exit when he was at Jackson State. He's literally maybe crossing the 12-month mark at this point, right? So he's
Mm-hmm.
still really early as a coach in Colorado.
All right. So let's switch this conversation to the Buffs. Let's talk position. Let's talk position. Let's talk, because football's about to start. You feel me? We are
Camp is
about
coming.
to start. Huh?
I said camp is coming. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So let's put this. Let me put this on the screen so we can take a look at this together, and we can discuss this. Let's see.
Nisi Ty _B. Am I saying nicety? B. She said, y'all stop giving them y'all breath. Coach Prime ain't going nowhere. Okay, please stop. All right, we got you. We off that topic now.
Yeah, we good. We good. I just wanted to have a little bit of fun. I just want everybody to please understand. I'm not promoting Coach Prime leaving. I find it to be laughable that people keep trying to entertain this type of stuff, that Coach Prime is actually leaving, and then these big networks are doing it. First Taken, come on, Stephen A. What you?
But Harry B, though, you can't say it's impossible, right? All we're saying is not impossible, but chances are it's not going to happen. Is what I'm saying. It's not impossible. All right, it's not impossible.
The only reason why you can say it's not impossible is because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, right? If I knew what was going on behind the scenes, then I would say, yeah, because we know the man is a character man. He's a man of standard. He's not easily waved by every wind of opportunity that comes, to him, like some people would be. Coach Prime doesn't need the money. He doesn't need the stature. He's not the type of guy that's trying to coach to be relevant. He's already relevant, and he's coaching. You feel me? So it's like coaching makes some people relevant. Like acting makes some people relevant. Becoming a movie director, I thought was going to make me relevant, but Hollywood didn't want me, so I'm now doing YouTube. So people try to attach themselves to things that'll make them relevant. I don't see Coach Prime at 50-something years old trying to do something to be relevant. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like,
I'm not saying he would do it for the clout, or he would just do. I mean, but he's a man. Like, he's a human being. He can make a decision, just like you or I can make a decision at any given point. And we don't know all the factors. Like you said, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But what I'm saying is, the movie is too good, bro. He can't. He's in the hottest movie in the world right now, in the sports world, right? He's the star of the hottest movie right now. You're a director. You'd be like, yo, you gonna walk off set right now? The movie's too hot.
Right, right. Like you
Everybody
don't
has
walk away
eyes
from
on
the
him.
franchise movie. Like,
No.
you know what I'm saying? You don't walk away from the franchise movie when it's at its height and it's working. You know,
Yeah, it's like Rocky 2, man. We just getting started. It's
like
season
why you
2
do
of
why
Rocky.
Rocky, man? Go give me an update of movie.
Because he's the underdog, man. Because he's an underdog. Right? He's
You-
the underdog. He's the underdog story. He's gotta punch above what his so-called weight, basically. Because all the other programs are Apollo Creed, right? You
yeah.
got Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State, Georgia. Those are the big. He's got to punch above his weight, right? And I think all Buff fans are looking forward to watching Coach Prime punch above his weight
I
or his
think,
perceived weight.
bro. I think I feel like we're having a conversation, which I like.
Bro, that's the best. We're not on YouTube right now. It's just me and you talking.
It's just me and you. Let's keep talking. Two Liberians talking football. Let's go.
Yeah.
So now, but it's like, okay. So you look at USC, you look at Alabama, you look at all of the big schools. Coach Prime actually wants to be the guy that busts this whole thing open. You see what I'm saying? I think
In
he
what
wants
way?
to. I think he wants to bust this sucker open, and when he
Or college
does it,
football?
college football and the old way of doing things, I think it's a challenge for him. I think he goes to sleep like, you know how some people like they lay back when they're like in on a nice cool day, they'll lay back, they'll fold their hands behind their head, cross their legs, and just lay there. I feel like Coach Prime is doing that when it comes to like trying to flex on these people, and they don't know what's coming. For Paul Finebaum to keep saying they're not going to be any good this year, I feel like he's going to eat those words, and I don't want that doo-doo on his face. Even though his face look like doo-doo already.
Yeah, but all right, man. Let's talk about football. We can talk about this all day. I think that people want to break down these starters,
Let's
see
go.
what's happening.
Let's do it. DC
Yep.
Carson Music said it's possible but not probable. We'll leave it there. All right, that's cool.
Yeah, that's solid.
All right, Prime Effect 101. Hey man, you gotta clean your schedule up. Prime Effect 101. I need a lady's voice on this because you know your stuff. Even though every time you come on here, you get that work. So, but don't be afraid to come back on here. Prime Effect 101. I know you're not afraid. Leave that financial stuff alone and come talk football with me. All right, so look, position running backs. All right, returners with 2023 starts, none. All right, so we have no more. We had no more running backs that are returning that were starters.
So let's start with who played last year. So we had Dylan Edwards,
He's gone.
Alto,
Gone. That's
Smoke.
why I said returners who started in 2023.
Oh no, I'm not done. Right, this is how empty the room got. Dylan Edwards, Alto, right? Hankerson,
gone.
Wilkerson,
Gone.
Kavasi Smoke.
Hold on. Savion. Yeah. Savion, he transferred to Georgia State. So those
the
are the key.
Room emptied out.
The whole room emptied out. However, though, those who know, the guys who know, they're saying that we're gonna be all right in this with Isaiah Augustave, Dallin Hayden. How do you feel about these guys?
All right, so we're talking about like we traded. Let's say we were trading, right? So we traded players basically, right?
Okay.
5 went out, we got 5 in, basically.
But also, let the people know that you did a video on this, right? Did you not do a video on?
Yeah, I did a live on Dallin Hayden.
Okay.
And it was Pat Shermer's offense and why I think they're going to be able to run the ball this year. So, all right.
Y'all go check that video out on Common Sense Buff YouTube channel when y'all get a chance. Go ahead.
Yeah, bro. Y'all been running it up, man. A big shout out to Harry B. Hold up. First of all, man, you my mentor in this YouTube thing, man. You're the one who has inspired the channel.
I'm a couple of people's mentors, man. I'm telling you, but we do it. We do it for the spirit, for the sport. You feel me?
All right, cool, man. I'm just getting started, so hopefully I get good at this. Okay, so Charlie Arfadal, right? RB1 according to Prime.
First of all, how do you feel about him being a starter?
Oh no, okay. So I said this when Charlie got his scholarship in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've ever played sports or if you're a lover of sports movies, I don't know why I'm on movie references right now.
Okay,
But
because we talk Tinseltown.
yeah. We talk Hollywood, right? So
That's right.
Rudy, right?
Oh man, you going back, way
Bro, it's
back.
one of the greatest sports movies of all time. If you love sports, you watch that movie. It's hard not to cry, right? Because
Yep.
it's the ultimate underdog story. I think Charlie Offerdahl is gonna see more playing time than Rudy did. So I'm putting some respect on his name. Rudy only got in there for one play, but everybody was rooting for him so hard that his story, his arc, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You need a guy like this in your locker room that everybody plays for. And I
But
think
yo,
Charlie Offerdahl is that guy.
but you know that somebody was trash. You know somebody, an old buff that trash Rudy. He said, "Yo, coach, what's that dude name that wears his hat backwards and like he wears the shades? He's always on JB's show. He was
Oh no.
the 0 to 60. He does the 0 to 60 something, but he's a former buff.
Oh yeah, Matt McChesney.
Matt McChesney. Matt
hmm
McChesney said, "Screw Rudy." I can't use the same words that he used. He said,
Oh, he
"Screw
don't want to
Rudy."
hear about Charlie running, starting.
Not Charlie, but he was because you were using the Rudy reference, and he said Rudy sucked.
I know, yeah, but the point I was trying to illustrate is Charlie Offerdahl's is that guy you want to get in the game. So let's say he doesn't start, right? Let's say he doesn't start, but again, I'm gonna listen to Prime, bro. I know
He said, "Get
you're
Rudy
laughing
out
right
of
now,
here."
but let's say Charlie doesn't start, right?
Oh,
He's the kind of guy that you want to play so you blow out the other team so he
uh-huh.
could get in the game, right? So in
Okay.
a way, Charlie is an important piece, whether he's on the field or not, which I think he's going to see more time than we're giving him credit for. Because listen, here's another thing about loyalty, and you talked about integrity,
Uh-huh.
and you attributed that to Coach Prime. People with integrity appreciate people who stick with you when times are hard.
Okay.
Charlie Offerdahl, although he's a walk-on, you might say, okay, he didn't have any options. He had to stay there. But like we described, when that running back room emptied out, right, and we were watching well-off media clips in the spring,
Mm-hmm.
who was the running back breaking big runs every single time, even towards the end when both Dylan and Alto were still in that room? Go back to well-off media videos in
Mm.
March.
Okay.
Which one of the running backs every single practice during that time when people were probably, Prime would have everybody in the circle and he'd be like, I already know who's going and I know who's going to stay.
Yeah.
There was that time period where he was calling people out
Right.
because he knew some guys were going to leave. Who was the running back who was breaking those runs consistently to the point where at the end of practice, he said, Coach Flea, from now on, Charlie runs with the ones and don't change that until you talk to me.
Yeah, you just gave it up. You you asked the question, but you just gave it up.
That's what I'm saying.
It was Charlie. But keep in mind that Charlie was hurt. Charlie was hurt last year, so that affected his playing time. And also, but what you're saying he was doing last year as well. We saw this kid breaking runs as well in practices. We saw him also. And at that point, Coach Prime himself was surprised. Coach Prime was like, who is this guy? Right? And then at one point, he brought him up to make a speech. It's rare that he would do that for a walk-on, right? So, and then when Charlie got hurt, that affected a lot of things for him to be able to, contribute. But for those of you who don't know Charlie's story, Charlie literally, the reason why he got here or how he got here was they went to go see Charlie Offerdahl, went to go see another player, and Charlie Offerdahl did exactly what we're talking about right now. He beasted out. And the recruiters were like, who the heck is this kid? And that's how Charlie got that's how we're able to talk about Charlie right now. So Charlie has been consistently doing what he's been doing. So, but okay, but let's get real. Let's talk serious.
Yeah. Okay.
Is Charlie
Yeah,
a
Charlie's
Big
my guy
12?
though.
Is Charlie a Big 12 running back? Because we know we got Ollie Gordon, we got a bunch of guys in the Big 12. People say that the Big 12 is a running conference, and there's a lot of if the Pac-12 had elite quarterbacks, the Big 12 has elite running backs. That's what they're known for. How do you see Charlie Offerdale fitting into the Big 12 scheme or concept as a running back?
All right. Yeah. So I think everything the run game starts with the offensive line.
Okay.
So the running backs get all the shine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have I mean you can't be sorry and be an effective running back, but you could be a average performer behind a good offensive line. I wouldn't necessarily go to the point of saying that Charlie Arfordal is an elite running back or maybe the elite running back in the room, but I still think behind a solid defensive line, Charlie
Mm-hmm.
can be productive. And I'll give you a scenario. Let's say we had another starting running back, right? I'm just talking about hypothetical, not about 2024. And that running back couldn't play in a particular game. And Charlie Orfordal was their backup. I think Pat Shermer will be just as confident handing the ball off to Charlie as he would any other one of these backs in the game, right? Because there's going to be a battle for who's the starter.
Okay.
And I think in this room is so competitive that it's going to shake out that Pat Shermer needs to be confident that no matter which one of these five guys, six, well, I don't know Christian Sarum. No disrespect to you, brother. But any of the rest of the five guys, I think he wants to have like these guys be interchangeable at number two, right? Meaning
Mm-hmm.
somebody's going to win out at number one, and then any one of these guys can tote the rock. That's really how I see the room. I don't really get nervous if Charlie Offerdahl is in the game if running back one goes down, if he's not indeed running back one. That's just the way I really look at this room.
Yeah, I don't know Christian either. I haven't heard the name. I haven't heard any ramblings about him. The spring game, nothing. But who we did hear about are the true freshmen. We did hear about Micah Welch. Didn't Micah like bust one on in the spring game, or am I mistaken?
Yeah. So again, Micah, well, so we talked about Charlie. Can we go down the list before we
Oh,
get
you
to the
want
freshmen? Talk about the guys who transferred in.
okay? So transfers. Isaiah Augustaff. Wait,
Yes.
is Christian next, or we just gonna chuck it up to we don't know him and just
Yeah,
move on?
I don't know Christian, man.
I don't know Christian.
I
I
can't.
don't know
Yeah, I
Christian either.
can't do any analysis on that. So
Yeah,
let
I
me.
don't know Christian. This is a shame. I need to have I need nobody on this team. I'm sorry, but Christian, I gotta have you on the show or something. You gotta introduce yourself. I don't know why I don't know you. I gotta get to know you. All right, let's go to the transfer. Isaiah Augustaff. What do you know about him, and why should we be focused on him?
I know he came from Arkansas. Can you pull up his 24/7 page while
Yep,
we're talking about him and just see
yep.
what his ranking was, high school, and all of that? So I know I've been what I do know is Pat Shermer's offense, right? Because I've been looking at it and getting ready to do videos on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
And Pat Shermer, especially when he was the
Hold on, who
offensive
am I pulling up?
coordinator.
Isaiah's information.
Yeah. On
Copy,
24/7 Sports. Yeah.
copy that. Go ahead.
Yo, so in Pat Shermer's offense, which I think, sometimes it get lost on people that people just like in the NFL, when you have an NFL mindset,
Mm-hmm.
what Prime is using the transfer portal as is like how you draft or trade players,
Okay.
right? So if I have a certain offense, I'm looking for certain pieces I could bring to make my offense work. Pat Shermer's offense with the Vikings, again with the Giants, I didn't really look at his offense with the Colts,
Okay.
but it features the run game heavily, right? So with the Vikings, I think he was running the ball 40% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you watch Pat Shermer, and it was like some ridiculous amount on first and second down. So you need running backs who are going to be able to be reliable ball carriers in a Pat Shermer offense, right? Now, he not only features two running backs, which is rare to see in college football today. Usually you see single back. You saw a lot of that in Sean Lewis's offense, where the only person back there was like Dylan Edwards trying to pass protect, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a Pat Shermer's offense, you might see both Isaiah Agastave and Dallin Hayden on the field at the same time, right?
Okay.
Which is why he went out and got running backs with certain characteristics. What I know about Isaiah is that he's a big back, so he's 6'2", over 200 pounds. So that's
Mm.
a bruiser.
Okay.
In the NFL, that's an every down back nowadays. Somebody who can run the ball and catch the ball out of the backfield. The reason why that's important to have in a Pat Shermer offense is because he runs outside read plays.
Mm.
Now, if I'm getting the chat has to tell me like, bro, we don't want to hear all this. Y'all gotta let me know if I'm going too deep into football. Okay. Okay.
Hey,
So he
let's
all right,
talk
let's watch
about
it.
it.
Yeah, so he runs outside read. And what you want in an outside read running back is patience, good eyes, and the ability to take one step and get up the field.
Mm-hmm.
So what you'll watch is good eyes, and then once that he'll turn the corner and get upfield. So this guy is brought, in my personal opinion, what they're basically doing at Colorado is being like an NFL team. And I need a running back who's 6'2", 208 pounds. That's a big running back,
That's true.
right? That's a big running back. Now,
And he
this
was a
is
4-star coming out of high school.
right. So this is if you can control the clock with Agastave, right? You just give him the ball, he'll wear the defense down.
Mm-hmm.
If you're running the ball 40% of the time, you need somebody like this so that you can actually control the clock. Last year, we couldn't control the clock because we were throwing the ball all the time. Clock stops at every incompletion.
So we had Wilkinson last year. Let's bring on Cape Con. Cape Con was on the show before. Cape Con. Let's bring him on so we can have a couple of another voice to the show. Cape Con, welcome back to the show. How you doing today? Thank you for calling in.
Prime effect. Are you talking to me? You say I'm condescending?
Yeah, nah, he doesn't. He's talking to Cape Con, man. African brother from another mother. How you doing, man?
All is
What's
well,
Oh
happening,
man.
bro?
wow, we got more Africans on the show,
3
man.
Africans today. We're setting a record. This is a record for TLP Sports.
Nah, always on your show, bro. We set records all the time on your show. Did you see my tag? The hashtag BWB, hashtag TLP, hashtag brilliant, my G.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Look, I finished work late, so I stumbled onto the show and I was watching your take on. Sorry to sidetrack on Prime. So interesting enough, you've got Cameron. It's Cameron, right?
Common sense. You talking about common sense buff?
No, Common Sense. Sorry, Common. No
Oh yeah.
offense. Um, Look, just my take on that quickly. You do know why they call South Cal Tinseltown, right? Because of all the stars that are near there. Why do you think he's saying Prime should go to South Cal? Because Prime brings money. He's got a 250K bonus just for the investment that's come to Colorado, not for his 4-8 wins. So Colorado wants Prime for the long haul, knowing Prime just needs to bring one championship to validate his football status. What they wanted Prime for, if you look at his recruiting, was always we need capital. We get money in, we boost the campus up. Now they got a new screen in 1 year. What's next? A new practice facility and something else. So if he goes to South Cal, I mean, no offense, their facility isn't like top notch. So Prime is a money cow. That's what he's there for. So Finebaum's laughing at him. Nah, you just what you guys call what is the American look? I'm not American, but I know you guys know pop culture. That whole black face with the red lipstick, clown face thing. What they call that? Um,
Wait.
the actors,
The
the olden day actors used to clown
what?
around and they
I
used to
think they
laugh at
called
them.
it blackface.
The minstrel show.
Yeah.
Oh, the
They're
menstrual.
using Prime as a minstrel show. That's what Finebaum is laughing at. Nah, Prime is only good
Mm.
for show and boating and showing off and showing out kind of thing. But back to the point of, but so Prime would be a good addition money wise. That's all they're looking at. His attraction for money to boost South Cal.
Mm.
When it comes to running backs, I stumbled upon something just doing research. And I'm learning all common sense. Look, shout out to you, bro. TLP, thank you so much. BWB, you brought out someone with football knowledge, like he's a commentator. He should have his own live show while the game's going. He'll do well. Um, Pat Shermer's offense. You guys spoke about he uses running backs like the NFL. It's something about outside zone running attack. Something like, but they got to always read their blocks to the outside or cut the ball inside.
Yeah,
Now,
that's right.
do they need the size of backs that'll just smash mouth kind of football? Is that what Pat Shermer's known for, or is it muscle out and then run down the sideline,
Yeah,
get a few yards?
Pat Shermer has a more
Yeah,
of
he's
a
not smash mouth. He's definitely not smash mouth at all.
Okay,
yeah, he's more of a kind of a misdirection type of offense. So he makes you think he's going one way and he goes the other.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
Now go ahead. You were talking about. Sorry, I cut you off. Sorry.
he used to be with my New York Giants, so it's hard to say because I mean his rise and fall. I mean his football. I guess what he's done in football hasn't been enough. I would say, he hasn't done enough to say where he's like a goat. You feel me? Because I think he's trying to get his his mojo back so that he can get back to the NFL. So if he wins here with Prime, then we'll be able to more so identify. I know common sense is saying like misdirection, but I don't know that he has an identity, if that makes sense. Because I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's simple, man. It's simple football. I don't think he's his scheme. He's not like Andy Reid
Mm,
in Kansas City, right? Where he's like, you don't know what kind of playbook Andy Reid's going to bring to the game, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
With Pat Shermer, you're going to get something pretty consistent. So first and
yeah.
second down,
I
he's going
agree
to
with
run
that.
the ball.
Hmm.
Third down, he's going to throw the ball, right? So
So he's
that's his
traditional
identity.
NFL.
He's old school NFL.
Yeah, he's
So
old school NFL.
and that's why.
Fundamentally NFL.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
fundamental NFL. That's a good point.
So look, so the point I was trying to make is okay. If we keep talk about NFL, right? I mean, I'm kind of imagining this out, but this is what it seems like to me because look at the other transfer that they went out and got, right? Another running back Dallin Hayden.
Mm-hmm.
So great freshman season, over 500 yards, but then they redshirted him last year. So Isaiah Gastabe, I think he's only a sophomore, right? So imagine you got him for minimum another 2 years. You got him this season and the next season, depending on how well he plays.
Right.
Dallin Hayden is a redshirt sophomore, so you potentially have him for another 2 seasons. And this is another thing we have to talk about. They always talk about Prime and how he uses the portal. He's not just going in there and getting grad students, right, who are only going to play for him for 1 year.
That's true.
He's really building a roster because right after the two sophomores, look what you have. You have two freshmen.
Mm. And these are good freshmen, but but somebody who comes on the show a lot, which is Phil So Real, says you always have to recruit your own guys every year. That's
Mhm,
we gotta also lean into that as well. We gotta
mhm.
recruit these guys again. So how much can you really celebrate the fact that you have these freshmen or these sophomores when you got to start recruiting them again?
Well, I
Yeah.
think these guys are all also looking at their. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Cape Con.
No. It's cool. Um, Look, from my point of view, if like what Common Sense said, Dylan is like a season running back, first year Kansas. Okay, he did well, but I'm
Mhm.
looking at what you just pointed out. You made a good point about how he brings in experience already after first year under their belt, maybe second year. The red zoning maybe is a worry, but if he can come out the injury, okay. We got someone who knows checks, who knows where the mic is, he knows how to look at his blocks, where's he gonna go run, and or if they what play they're gonna run, he can learn it quickly. Now they've got two freshmen, or maybe is it two freshmen, one freshman,
It's two,
two.
two
So
true
he's
freshmen. Yeah.
true freshmen, so they don't know nothing. So when you coming in not knowing anything and you build a strong room, you got experienced guys. We all know this. I mean, Harry B, you play more sports than me. I know it from a team sport. Team sports. I played like what I played rugby. When I
Hmm.
was a freshman, I looked back to the experienced guys a lot. I would like be on their hip, especially if we became friends. Like if there's camaraderie, if there's like a if you building if the way I see Prime building this team, especially the way he wants to build, he's looking at dogs coaching up young guys, building a brotherhood. So even if Yes, you got to recruit. There's some that are just there plenty for money, but majority of his team will be bought into this ethos of we're here to prove a point. We were left out. Now we build a brotherhood. Now we stand behind Prime. Look at how thing followed him from Jackson State all the way to Colorado. What's his name? To the two-way star. I always forget the name, but I always Travis
Travis?
Hunter followed. Travis
Yeah.
didn't even blink. Travis made a whole show about it, but didn't blink. He said, "I'm coming. I'm following Prime." He could have gone anyway. Same with Wilkerson, the running backs, all that. My point is, you guys are right. Recruiting is tough. We got to keep the guys there. The only thing I'm saying is Prime is because he's a black man. He's advantage number one. He's a black man who's done it on the biggest stage. He's proving to them that if I'm loyal to you, you're loyal to me. I got you through the whole 4 years. So he's using the portal to get experienced journeymen to train young, true freshmen.
Yeah.
That's my take on it.
Let's sport this African party real quick and bring on an African American. Tim Smith, welcome to the show. Dallas is in the building. What up with you, my brother? You had to sport the party, brother. You had to just come in here and
Yes.
add some American spirit to this.
Right.
How you doing today,
Exactly.
man?
Hey, I'm blessed, man. How you brothers doing?
All is well, man.
No,
All
we
is well.
good,
What's
man.
up,
We
man?
good.
Good, good.
So Tim, we can jump you in with the running back talk that we're having, right?
Mhm.
We got two true freshmen. We're talking about the transfers in. What are your thoughts on how we're looking? Let me just give you a general question to bust this open for you. How are we looking with Charlie, Dallin, Gustav or Gustave? How are we looking when you think about the Big 12? Because you got some experience with the Big 12. How are we looking? How do you feel?
I feel I feel good.
Okay.
Based off of what Dallin Hayden, what
Mm-hmm.
he's capable of doing. Um he's 5'10. He's low to the ground. Uh he can hit his head on the goalpost at any given time.
Mm-hmm.
Um what he did his freshman year, even though he redshirted, so they can keep him for 4 years if he decide to stay that long. But to me, man, he's like one of my favorable running backs starting.
Okay.
But also the kid out of Arkansas, he's a sleeper. I actually watched him a little bit last season, even though Arkansas stunk up the place.
Well, you
But
talking about the Wade kid?
no, not Wade, the running back from the Razorbacks.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
I can't
y'all
remember
was
his
just,
name right now. Wait, you
I'm
talking about
sorry.
Gustav?
Yes, he is. To me, he's Otto's replacement.
Okay.
They have they if you look at their style of run, they're similar. So one cut, boom, downhill.
Mm-hmm.
And he was doing that all last season at Arkansas. And I like him, man. Him or Hayden could either go starter, but I'm not gonna count out Michael Welch, man. I like that kid a lot. Um, I know the gentleman was just talking about development and keeping players there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, with the portal and the kids having the option to transfer at any given time, to me that's a mystery uh unseen at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, I really don't know how it would go with keeping three or four great running backs or potential starter running backs on one team when they feel like they can go somewhere else and shine.
So let me speak to that, which is what I think I was trying to say is it's going to be difficult regardless. But the one thing that gives me hope is the offense that Pat Shermer runs. So one of the things I mentioned was that it's not uncommon for him to have two running backs in the game, which is where misdirection comes into play. Because it's not like you don't have another running back that can block. So Dallin Hayden is over 200 pounds. Agustave is over 200 pounds. And can you imagine both those backs like this formation right here, split back? So rewind this, Harry B.
Okay.
So we're gonna talk a little bit of football so Prime Effect 101 can get off my back.
Hold on. Is she giving you a hard time?
Nah, she just messing with me. So we're gonna
She
give
good
her
for
what
that
she
too.
wants. Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
We're gonna give her what she wants.
can I interrupt you real quick for one
Yeah,
second?
for sure.
Okay. Last season, um, well, we talked about on the show, on Harry's show, about, man, why aren't they going split back? Is that something that they're just not going to do,
Mm.
or are they going to really implement it this season?
Man, I'm hoping. Keeping our
Yeah.
fingers
So
crossed on a whole lot of things.
what Harry B, I think you went back too far to that run where they did have split backs in this game.
All right. So
Right?
where we was it this one right there?
Yeah, I think it might have been that one. All right, it's gonna play after this, I think. All right. So when I was watching Pat Shermer's offense,
Mm-hmm.
and I mentioned you could run split back in that offense, it's not like when one. So that's what they just did. So rewind that.
Yep.
So that's a split back, right? Two guys in the backfield. Now this team is playing with both backs down, but you can have that in
Let me go
multiple
back just a little bit more.
configurations.
Let's start it back here. This right here.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
rewind.
Rewind.
Just look. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know you don't have the little. Yeah, you can't really rewind it. So two guys in the backfield at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's really old school football. You don't really see that in college football anymore. But there are a couple of guys, including the running backs, that Pat Shermer brought over. So he went out and got Sam Hart,
Mm.
the tight end from Ohio State.
Yeah.
You don't bring in a 4-star tight end who's known for blocking because you don't plan on running the ball, right?
True.
And I see a lot of people arguing about our receiving core and who's going to start. I think you're very rarely going to see 4 wide receivers in the game under Pat Shermer. Sam Hart is going to be in the game all the time, just like how Mikey Harrison was in the game all the time.
Yeah.
Sam Hart is going to be in the game all the time because I know for sure Prime wants to establish the run, and he has a loaded running back room where I think everybody can see time. Because the point
So
that we were all
you're
talking
using
about
some
is
key
retaining
words
running
here.
backs.
You're using some key words here. Like you said loaded. Let's just make sure we are identifying these things because I don't want nobody getting mad at me. You said we have a loaded running back room. So when you say loaded running back room, let me pause this video real quick. When you say loaded running back room, we're replacing Dylan Edwards, Otto McCaskill, Wilkinson. When you're saying loaded, are you saying that either we're matching talent or are we getting better? Please, can you please expound on that, please?
I think net we got better.
Mm.
But the what's the proof of it
Reach.
is that we're talking about retention. If you go back to that running back room, there are a lot of teams in college football who want running backs from that room. So if we're
Okay.
talking about retention as an issue, it's already a sign. Of course, it's an issue across college football, but given what the body of work that Michael Welsh has put together in his short time, he got to school early, so he got into workouts. You don't
Mm-hmm.
think somebody would be happy to steal Michael Welsh from Colorado?
Oh yes, most definitely.
I can see
So
that.
so is proof positive that the running back room is loaded because there are a lot of teams in the country who want these guys
I
right
have a
now.
little pushback though.
All right, go ahead.
Push back.
Now, as far as the comment about a loaded running back room, I agree with you uh, on that aspect. Just because,
You're saying
I,
loaded. I don't know if I'm agreeing with loaded though.
well, I put it.
I'm having a little issue with the word loaded.
Okay, they have um, a healthy running back room.
Okay.
I'm not
We
gonna
can
use
we can
loaded
use healthy
because,
for now until we find a better word. But go ahead.
right.
Go
I
ahead.
mean, or we could even say yes, they have a few decent running backs.
Yeah, yeah.
Because some schools, when we talk about Alabama's and some of these bigger programs, they may have 10 freshmen
Mm-hmm.
that's 5'9", 6'1", 210, 215 running backs. So, but right now, for what it's worth, I feel like the size wise, it's good.
I think Stacy
Dylan,
wants to say decent running back room.
yeah, decent running back room. Thank
Okay.
you, Stacy. Um, replacing Dylan Edwards. I haven't seen Hayden and these other guys catch the ball out of the backfield. Not only that, Dylan Edwards is somebody that you could take out of the backfield. Say for instance, you go to two back split, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you audible Dylan Edwards out at wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
That outside linebacker, that is a mismatch. That
I agree.
so now I feel like we're losing Dylan, and I've been saying this the whole time since he left. It's that's a big loss, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't see anybody up there that could replaces him.
Common
Being
sense.
able
Can
to
you
be,
push back on that, or Cape Con? Can you guys with their, because y'all got the data, so can y'all push back on Tim, on my Dallas brother here? Do y'all see a Gustave, Charlie Alfredo? Are we not? Are we? Do you agree with Tim halfway somehow?
I will look at scheme. Now, I'm not entirely stat conscious 100%, like you like, and common sense would be. But let's take for instance, because Dylan Edwards catching out the backfield. Remember, he was also using play action.
Mm-hmm.
Now, play action would be like you guys said, first and second down, running the ball. But now Pat Shermer likes play action a lot. I'm just reading up. So normally he'll have max protection, 3-man routes. That's his go-to. So his scheme is designed around the players he can use. Last year he had to remember when he took over the offense, he had to tweak to what he had, but it wasn't his actual scheme.
Mm-hmm.
So Dylan Edwards is a big loss for speed out the back, beating those big linebackers. You call them linebackers, right? Um, those guys are sluggish against Dylan. But what we need, that's why he brought in a blocker, someone who's like the fifth man on the outside, protecting that threat. So that gives Shador time with the play action. You don't need someone especially for speed. You need someone for toughness. Because in the Big 12, I believe, after watching some highlights, it's a running back conference, but it's
Mm-hmm.
it's a bruisers conference. Speed with Dylan's size, Dylan will get. I believe Dylan will have been killed in a few games because some teams, if they schematically shut you down on
Well,
defense,
he's staying in the
and
Big 12. He's at K State.
no, I understand, but he's got to adapt now because Pac-12 was open play,
Okay.
air play. Now this is ground game. This is
Mm-hmm.
what my pushback is. If we the scheme is changed to suit the Big 12, that's why I bought running backs. And look, you guys say decent, but we have a loaded running back room in terms of the experience of the three guys there. Dalen Hayden, what's his name? Not Offendal. Oh, the two guys, Hayden and Gustave.
Mm-hmm.
From what they got, they are bruisers. They can take the hits. They'll be the
Mm-hmm.
first call to place. That's my pushback. I'm not experienced, but I'm just looking at a few videotapes, looking at some of the plays Patrick was running in the past. I think that'll be
I think
basically where we go to.
if I was to, okay, let me offer a little bit of I don't know if it's a pushback, but I think the argument against loaded, it has to do with the other running back other running back rooms in the Big 12. Um,
Yeah, no, I agree. Oh, no, okay, I see where you're coming from.
so
Okay.
if you're looking at other running back rooms, I don't know that even with the size, I don't know that we are loaded. I say we're decent because we're going to be like, just like you just laid out with scheme, we will be able to compete. I'm always looking for our team to compete. If we can compete, I believe we have the experience, the NFL experience on staff to be able to pull games off at the end of the day. The issue we had last year was not being able to compete. You
Yeah.
feel me? So it's like you try, but at the end of the day, you don't have the bodies to compete with teams
Yeah.
to finish games. So
Mhm.
as long as we can compete, I feel very confident every Saturday to sit back and just enjoy the games. But if we don't have guys to compete, then I'm like, okay, we're crossing our fingers and we're just, holding our hearts and hope that something good happens to us. But I said decent because we can compete. I wouldn't say, loaded, because I feel like the data that we have on the other teams, they suggest that we're not loaded.
Okay. It's substantially above us. Okay, and I agree with you on that one because I see where you're coming from.
Common sense.
Yeah.
Do you have other? Is there otherwise or no?
No, everybody who watched Colorado play last year and they just got a glimpse of Dylan Edwards, they know he's an elite running back. Right now, is he too small for the O line he was running behind? Definitely. Right.
Mhm.
If he kept running behind an O line that was like that, he was gonna get hurt. Right. He wasn't that big. Right. Even though he was a very potent threat, he's not an every down back at his size behind the offensive line that we had in 2023. Maybe in 2024, which is why I feel like he's such a big loss. I think, and I said this a long time ago, and some of the other people on the panel, we were on TLP Sports Club. I was like, man, he has the potential to have a 30 for 30 game. Like,
Mm.
like he's playing against his old, like Dylan is that good, right? But
He's
I don't
good. He's
want that
good.
to happen, obviously, because I'm going to be rooting for Colorado in that game. But what I'm saying is, college is a game now today as a game of attrition, right? Like you guys said, you're going to get some, you're going to lose some.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is, for this year at least, given where Colorado is, this is a solid running back room when you compare it to 2023 to go into the Big 12 with. Right? You got some guys, you got multiple 100-yard in a game runners in this running back room. Nobody can tell me any different because they've done it before. Isaiah
Okay.
Agastave has rushed for over 100 yards in a game. Dallin Hayden has rushed for over 100 yards in a game. Obviously, the freshman and Charlie have not. But you got multiple guys who have rushed for over 100 yards in a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
But I think
Agastave was a freshman.
And
I would say
also to
Charlie can do it. Charlie is capable of breaking,
He's
of
capable,
being
but
a
I'm
game
just talking
breaker.
about the record. Guys who've
We're talking
actually,
about what's in front of
yeah,
us. I
in
get it.
college football
a common
under their
sense
belt.
and also um Augusta, if I'm saying his name right, that's in the SEC. Hayden, that's in the ACC. So these are two big conferences. These are,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, both of those conferences are better than the Big 12 have been in a while. So they are
But if you're
solid.
gonna, but Tim, we're a data show. We're a data channel here. If you're gonna use those stats, though, you gotta lean heavy on their
Well,
production.
okay. Well,
You feel
well,
me?
what I'm
So we
saying
gotta be
is,
careful. We gotta be very
well,
careful.
well, we talking about, like, okay, like, say for instance, they both two running backs in Arkansas. Arkansas playing LSU, they playing Alabama, they playing Georgia's, they playing Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Uh, that's a lot of pounding, man. Them
What
some
was their
big boys.
what was their production to qualify what you're saying?
Well, what I'm talking about, y'all was talking about, uh, Dylan Edwards and his size and stuff like that, and then it
Mm-hmm.
started talking about these guys, about the defenses that we're going to be seeing in the
That's
Big
true.
12, and I'm like, okay, one of them coming from the SEC. Uh,
Okay.
the defenses on in the SEC are way bigger than and they play faster than the Big 12. You
Okay.
got the
That makes sense.
ACC, the same thing. Penn State's your uh what's it, Clemson, Michigan, Michigan State. Well, Michigan State was sorry, but Michigan. So some of those bigger
Why you just
teams.
say they sorry?
He's,
I mean,
that because their coach, their
well,
coach was a former Buff coach who was
yeah.
No, I know, I
try,
know.
But what
he
I'm
was
saying is
he was
these
doing
are
the hanky panky there.
Yeah.
two solid guys, man. That even though Hayden haven't had the opportunity, because what he was like, what, third string, if I'm not mistaken, third string
He
running
was going
back.
to be third string for Ohio State.
Yeah,
Because they brought in Quinshawn Judkins from
exactly.
Ole Miss.
So when he did play, did he have a lot of touches, to qualify what we're saying? So we make sure that, okay, so
This
I
is
guess
yards
we
per
can lean
carry,
on
though.
the practice tape.
No, he got some. Doesn't he have stats in
Yeah. His
2023?
from his freshman year, 2022. I think he had 500 yards on the year, and he was a
Right.
freshman.
Okay,
So
okay.
it's a solid season. But I mean again, Ohio State just has so many running backs. Talk about a running back room, right? Like running back room so loaded, it made Dallin Hayden leave. That tells you a lot about how some of these legacy programs
Hmm.
they just get all the 5 stars and 4 stars. So it's like that. But what I'm saying is we got a solid room. Now, all we need these guys, we don't need them to be world beaters. We just
That's
need them
true.
to be productive
That's a good point.
because the scary part is QB1 and the wide receiver room.
Yeah,
That's
we
the
got some
scary part.
deep dogs there. We got some dogs.
Yeah,
Yo, that's a
that's the
good.
scary part.
And then I'm sorry to recycle back to Paul Finebaum. That's why I'm like, I wonder when Paul Finebaum is talking. I wonder, does he just look at what you did, and if you sucked, then he just goes in on you, or does he ever do what some of these analysts do and actually look at the data, look at who you got, who you're replacing? I don't hear those things. That's why I'm like, wait a minute, have you done any work on the Big 12? Have you looked in any of their rooms to just compare any guy? You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, son of Yahweh, what up with you? Hope all is well. So okay, so the running back. So you're saying that we're gonna be. You make a good point, common sense. You make a really good point. I don't know if people really think. I don't even. Maybe next time, maybe on Friday, if I do a show. I didn't have a Friday show because I had a college tour with my son. We had to go check out Cornell for him. He's trying to do that Ivy League thing. So we was down in Cornell in the middle of nowhere. I have no idea what the heck they put a college down there for. I'm like, yo, my
Shout out
next
to your
door
son.
neighbor went to Cornell, and now it's like I'm older and I'm taking my son to Cornell, and I'm like, why they put a college here? But anyway, that's what I was doing, and we didn't have a show on Friday. But if we can look at our wide receivers room on Friday.
That YouTube money real nice. You paying that Cornell tuition? Okay. All right. I want to get like you, man.
You better get saved and start worshiping, because your YouTube ain't doing it like that, boy.
I want to be like you, man.
I'm
That's why
leaning,
you my
Nah,
mentor,
Harry.
man. All
Nah,
I'm
right.
leaning
Harry.
on the Holy Spirit over here, not YouTube. Okay, so let's make sure we get that correct.
A YouTube check coming in.
YouTube will
Nice,
have you.
huh?
YouTube will have you cleaning somebody's toilet to get extra change. Stop playing with me, okay?
Nah, Harry got them investments. Harry got them investments.
Oh man, boy, I'm telling you, YouTube is a long-term investment. we working on it, but yeah, man. So we can look at our wide receivers room. I just want to let everybody know out there. All right, even the spies, because I know I do get some spies on this channel. They come from other Big 12 media places to kind of spy on us. Our wide receivers room is actually one of the best wide receivers room in college football. I'm not saying in the Big 12. I'm saying in college football. And then we have the best quarterback in Shador, and then one of the toughest players in college football in Travis Hunter. So what you just said, common sense, we don't need superstars at the running back position. We just need workhorse. We need somebody who can just pound when we need those downs. Do y'all remember what did they call it? Fullbacks. Y'all remember the fullbacks back in football? I think they're kind of disappearing. But the fullback, we need like running backs that can just come in, get a first down, and keep us going. That was one area that we really lacked last year in 2023. We really needed somebody who we can trust, put them in at a long second and 9 situation, or at a really short 3rd and like 2 or 3rd and 3
And fourth
situation.
and ones. We had a couple
The
of
Red
4th and
zone.
fourth
ones,
and ones. We had a couple
right?
of ridiculous misses there last
Right.
season.
You know, those situations, we need somebody to be able to get a yard. So if we can really, if those things can materialize this year, we don't need to have superstars at the running back position. And I can say, you know, Dylan Edwards is fine. He's gone, but his speed was his speed. But if you can't really, you would have to game plan for him specifically for him to be effective because he was a small back. And I don't know that they were doing that yet.
So, all right, just going back to last year, right? So, how much better does this room need to be than last year for us to be an 8-win team, right? So, I'm just looking now at this is from ESPN, Colorado Buffaloes player statistics for 2023.
Mm.
All right, so total, the whole team, everybody who touched the ball on a running play, we ended the season with 827 rushing yards. The whole team. There's people running backs in the Big 12 that got almost twice that. Just one running back. I think the guy from is it Oklahoma State? I think he had maybe twice as many rushing yards as our entire team. Now we average 2.3 yards per run. Now really good running teams probably 5 yards a carry. Right? Every time they run the ball they get 5 yards. If we could just improve to 3 to 4 yards a carry.
Mm.
That's all we really need. We don't need to be, you know, a 5 yard a carry team. It'll be great because that means we'll always have the ball and we'll control the clock. But if we could get to about 3.5 yards a carry, 4 yards a carry, that's all we need to win. If we get the whole team, maybe 1,800 rushing yards, right? Another 1,000 yards of rushing. This is an 8-4 team.
Yeah, that's
Now, what does that
that's
do for the
TLP's
offense now?
that's TLP's prediction.
Yeah, I mean 8-4. I still ride with 10-2, but what I was gonna say to you, common sense. It's everything starts up front. So depending on how that front line look and how creative Pat Shermer get, is gonna determine how well if we are able to get 4 and 5 yards per carry. Now, if we get 4 and 5 yards per carry, that 10-2 is going to be really, really, really
Possible.
possible.
Yeah, that 10-2 is scary to me, man. When I cringe when I hear 10-2.
How much on a bet if we get 10-2, we go in the playoffs?
Well,
If we get that 4 yards carry, we go in the playoffs. At
we
least
get
game 1 playoffs.
is it 10-2? Okay.
You,
No,
you have
the average
to
is
win. You
the
have to win
average,
your
I'm saying.
conference, and then they're gonna have some at-large bids for some of the teams that lost their conference championship. So you either have to be a
So
winner
Cape
or
Con,
one of the
Cape
highly
Con.
ranked losers.
Yeah, Cape Con. So are you saying we go 10-2, lose the conference game, and then we get it? Is that what you're
It's
saying?
possible. Look at why I'm saying.
Because they're gonna
Longhorns are
want
gone.
Dion for that money.
Yeah, that's why I just said it. That's why I said it earlier. He cash cow. Imagine this. Just imagine our first playoff game in 20-some years. What's that going to look like? If we can get
If,
just like
if
what you guys do, if we can get 3-4 yards, decent. If we get 5 yards a carry, excellent. We control time of possession. We hold their quarterback, freeze your ass on that bench, nigga. We tossing out everything we want. Because remember, we hitting first and second down. Boom, boom. Come third down, they don't even know what we're running next. Shador to Jimmy Horn to whoever. Touchdown, touchdown. Next thing, defense comes, 3 short and out. Let's go. Running it again. That's what Prime wants. Prime wants a heavy running game. That's why I brought in Pat Shermer, old school, no jokes football. It's no time for there's no I bet you there'll be limited rappers this season. I'm guaranteeing you that. There'll be no
Well,
more
I
actors.
don't know if I agree totally with Prime wants a heavily run scheme. I don't know that I can agree with that in honest, with a straight face.
Well, look at his
Prime
Broden.
got
He's heavy.
Shador
He's
with a rocket of an arm. I don't know that he
yeah,
wants to
okay.
be running all day.
Yeah,
He's got Shermer. Shermer's run first.
But
yeah,
and also
and
you said something like you said Sherman creativity. Creativity and Sherman don't go together. Creativity and Sherman do not go
I'm just
together in the
praying.
same sentence.
I'm just praying.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead, commentate.
yeah, that one is a hard reach. He's
yeah,
gonna
no,
wear you down. The one thing you have to understand that Sherman will wear you down with the traditional ball, but Arizona did that with their they did that last year in 2023. They wore you down with traditional running. That's why when I watched them, I'm like, I love this team, what they're doing, because it just reminded me of traditional NFL and why I fell in love with the NFL, because they'll run it down your mouth, pause, and then when they passed, the pass was so much easier because when they ran effectively. So yeah, if Pat can accomplish that, then man, Colorado's. You would have Paul Finebaum himself come mid-season and start apologizing to Prime. I guarantee you.
but there's nothing that offensive linemen like more than when they call a run play.
Exactly.
Because you
I was screaming that last year.
you get to put hands on the defensive line,
Mm-hmm.
right? You get to be the aggressor. So and I think that's one of the reasons why I like Coach Phil Lodeholt, an NFL offensive lineman who played, I think, at the same time that Pat Shermer was the offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's these little connections when we talk about scheme and not just players that Colorado has working in their favor, right? These guys know each other. It's interesting that Coach Prime and Coach Mathis played on the same team,
Right.
right? So they know each other that well. And I'm guessing they can probably already understand what they're hoping to accomplish, right? From a scheme standpoint. So if Pat Shermer wants to run the ball, he's going to make sure that Phil has those guys ready to run the ball, right? And that's what I want to see. And that's what dominance is to me. Prime uses the word dominate. We have to dominate. In football, domination is running the ball down the other team's throat and they can't do anything about it.
please, you're giving me nightmares with Oregon. Please. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm getting a
was
headache
bad.
thinking about Oregon.
That's what domination is in
Woo!
football. Is I could just do whatever I want. I'm gonna hand the ball off to my running back. You can't stop him. We're gonna control the clock. We're gonna score at will. That's what we need to see from that running game, right? They don't need to have 1,000-yard rusher. We just need to be able to impose our will whenever we want with a run play.
Yeah. So, oh
Second
man.
and 4 should be a given. Second and 4, it's a run play. And if you
Yeah.
can't pick up second and 4, you got the problem.
But the question is, do you become predictable if that's the case? Do you become too predictable? I think that you open up that playbook and get creative. But I don't see Pat Shermer's never been a creative guy in New York. I never see him being creative. I just know that he's a good traditional coach who, you know what I'm saying, he knows how to read scenarios and make adjustments. But as far as being creative, I mean, do y'all remember them? Was it Jimmy Horn that threw a pass, a touchdown pass? Somebody, one of those, you know what I'm saying? Like, are they capable of, I don't know if they're going to be creative. I know Prime could do it, but is he going to require that of Pat Shermer? And I hope when he says, I'm going to be more hands-on this year and take more risk, I hope he's talking about, you know, if he's feeling like something's up, because you know Prime, his brain is football, right? I hope when he feels something, he'll be able to like scream at his coordinators and say, nah, let's do this. You feel me? Hopefully that happens.
But
Hey, Tim,
we've
salute to
already
you, man.
we've already seen as bad as it can get. So I feel like 2023 is about as bad of a result for the Colorado Buffaloes. We've already seen the worst, and that's my personal opinion. We could throw it to the chat, and the people in the chat could tell us. And even at the team's worst performance, they still produced magic. Like
Mm-hmm.
there was something. It was still fun to watch, right? It was hard to watch sometimes because you watch them get beat up, but you still saw that Shador was a accurate passer, right? You
Yeah.
still saw that he was a clutch quarterback. He's the guy you want to have the ball in his hand when the game is on the line. You saw that Travis is a generational athlete, both on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. They have a lot of new pieces that
Mm.
fill a lot of gaps. That's what I think people don't quite understand. They were 4-8 and they had a lot of holes. A lot of those holes have been plugged.
And they had 8 games where they win one score. So I mean, at the end of the day, man, the question becomes DEPTH. I'm gonna keep screaming that at the end of the day, we need depth. We need to make sure that Colorado can stay upright. If somebody goes down, we need to understand the next guy coming up, he's gonna be just as good. Because right now, Colorado is in a space where we have some stars, but those stars, who's behind those stars? So who's up next from those stars? So if we can hold up, man, I think Colorado is going to prove a lot of people wrong, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. Like, how many weeks we got? Like 3 weeks left or 4 weeks left?
The 29th is the first game, so that's 5 weeks.
Okay, so we got like 5 weeks for football to start, and we're gonna smack North Dakota State in the mouth. All right, I didn't feel comfortable at first saying that, but then as the time went on, I just started getting a lot more comfortable with the pieces. When I see Khalil Benson, when I see BJ Green, boy, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, wait a minute here. We got something here, and I don't know that people are looking at it again. And then I think the man above said, when those wins come, they're gonna say the teams that we're beating suck. They're gonna move that goalpost again. You feel me? That always happens. And I'm always trying to say, okay, let's put a stamp on the teams that we're saying are good, but I don't know that they're going to do that. I think they're reserving those teams suck in their back pocket to be able to use it later on to see, well, who do you really have? This statement is going to be said. Who do you really have in the Big 12?
Yeah, but it's a lose. It's a lose. It's okay. Look at it from this standpoint, and you're not wrong. You're 100% right. But look at it from this standpoint. Who does it benefit? Doesn't benefit them. That's why Paul Finebaum is discrediting Prime now. They actually didn't expect Prime to be where he is right now. Remember, Las Vegas had it at 3 wins. That was it. They didn't even have 3 wins. We were supposed to be 5-8. That Stanford game was that was atrocious. Let's be we were that was dominance. First off was like, are these guys sorry? Like you guys said, y'all sorry, man. You can't even
Yeah.
stop. They couldn't. That was what Prime wanted. Display one game where I'm gonna show dominance, and we let it
Mm-hmm.
slip.
We let it
Now we
slip.
get 4-8. That we were the most, as you said, Harry. I think one of your shows, when I started watching you, had said we're the most hyped 4-8 season in history.
Mm-hmm.
There's never been a hype season like this. So they could say whatever they want. If we get even okay, let's say we're not okay playoffs. Maybe I don't. If we get past, even if we get to a bowl game, can you imagine that bowl game? First one in 20 something years with Prime at the helm, Harry B there with you live at the stadium, all that. Do you know how mad that'll be? Like common
Be
common
live at the
sense says it.
stadium.
Like I said, scheme. He broke it down.
Uh-huh.
Scheme with the players we got. We need them just to produce what we need them to do. Do your job. The next man up does his job. Now, my question to you guys would be: okay, we've got. Who do you think would be our go-to running back? Second, third in this room? Who do you think, based on production, based on
Mm,
what we're looking at stats,
good
are we going to
question.
say, okay, man, you are go to every first, second down, running a play, we're going to so and so. If we're looking for a 4th and 1, we're going to so and so. Finish up the game, we're going to so and so. Who are our first, second, and third in tiers?
Good question. We got about 9 minutes to let's break that down. You can go first, common sense. Who's your first go to back?
Yeah, as far as the back who I think I would start, I'm not saying this is who are you asking me who I would start or who I think will start in a Pat Shermer offense. Like, am I getting to choose who I would run with?
Yeah, Cape Con. Can you clarify what you were saying?
No, what I'm saying is, okay, you can answer it both ways. Who would Pat Shermer put on, or who would you choose to put on first? Like,
I think Dallin Hayden gets to start in a Pat Shermer offense. And in my offense, if I was the one, even if I had Pat Shermer's run playbook, I would go with Isaiah Agustave. For me personally, he gives me uh Eric Dickerson, like the tall running backs.
Wow. Smash Mouth
Uh
days.
that's deep.
yeah, Eric
Yeah.
Dickerson or
Sheesh.
Adrian Peterson, kind of those tall backs that they will punish you, right? You're gonna have a long night trying to tackle them all night. So at 6'2", 210 pounds, he's going through Coach Mo's lifting program. You know, they're feeding them like crazy. He's gonna come out of that
Buffalo
off
meat.
season. Yeah. That would be my go-to back, but I know probably Pat Shermer is going to go with experience and go with Dallin.
I'm telling you, man. I'm going all the way left or all the way right and say Charlie.
Mm.
I'm saying Charlie because I feel like Charlie has been displaying consistency when it comes to being a game breaker, a potential game breaker. That white boy is crazy, man. I'm telling you, like, he can play ball. Charlie can, like, literally, he reminds you of dang, who? I don't know if I can go back and start doing Eric Dickerson and stuff like that. I don't know if I will put him on that kind of level, but I would say Charlie is going to show something this year that I think he's going to come into himself and he's going to get that respect from college football, and people are going to have to. His name is going to be is going to draw some more respect, and then people are going to see what Coach Prime sees. So I'm going with Coach Prime and saying Charlie's number one. I don't really know about these other guys as far as being number one, but I think Charlie's number one. And then if I was to go with the next guy, I'm going with Ohio State before Arkansas, Dallin and Isaiah. But keep in mind now, this is like I don't know that the whole starter, second string thing. I don't think that's important because of the way that they're going to use the backs. I think they're going to use the backs in packages. So I think they're going to have packages where certain backs are just going to be better for this package and certain backs are going to be better for certain packages. So I don't know that it's really going to be that important that we think about, starter versus second string. That's how I look at it.
I was asking in the package format. Just I didn't have the word. Thanks, Harry. I mean, you guys are more experienced in this lingo, but I agree with you, Harry. Like Charlie's reminds me of a James White. He's the way he holds the ball and then he can break tackles. James White with Tom Brady, similar kind of running style. That's what I look at. If he won't go for large chunks, but he gets your first second down.
He's a
Then
worker.
He's a worker. Yeah, he doesn't tire. But look, when you look at experience, obviously your Isaiah Gustave and your others are there, but I think you're right, Todd. You guys are right. Packages will suit whatever scheme you're running and whatever package suits the running back on the day. But I wouldn't sleep on Charlie, guys. This is his breakout. I mean, this guy is. I look to him to do a few, just like what we saw with we lost Dylan Edwards. I think Charlie's gonna have a breakout year this year.
Charlie hasn't been given the opportunity to show it, right?
Yeah.
When Charlie's given that opportunity, what he's been able to do in practices, when you just see the way he practices, I think he's going to have a breakaway game that's going to make his name ring because everybody's going to be like Charlie, who is this Charlie? And people are going to start saying that. I don't know if you want to count that as a prophecy, but go ahead and put that in my prophecy basket and say I'm prophesying, right?
Yeah, no, but like you can see, there's a debate going on, right? And again, this is the evidence that any one of these guys potentially could be a starter, which
That is
also
true.
means in this offense, you don't have to be a starter to play. I'm telling you, we're going to see enough carries to go around
Yeah, they're
because
gonna
that's
get.
Pat Shermer's style. He's going to run the ball. There's going to be enough carries in this room to go around and for somebody to differentiate themselves and earn the additional carries.
So with that being said, though, let's say let's say week 2, 3. By week 3, everybody's been given enough opportunity to touch the ball, right? To have some touches. Who do you see breaking away? Who do you see being that Dylan Edwards? Because obviously they tried it last year, and Dylan Edwards was just the shining star. Who becomes the breakaway running back?
I already told you who I'm rooting for. I'm rooting
Okay, so
for Agustave.
you're
That's
keeping with
who I would.
Agustave.
Yeah.
Cape Con, do you have a breakaway guy?
Look, I'm gonna be biased because because I feel for Charlie. If Charlie does what I think he'll do,
Wait,
he'll
are
be
you
the
feeling
break.
sorry for Charlie? What do you mean you feel
No,
for
no, no,
Charlie?
not sorry. I'm saying sorry. What I'm saying is, I'm looking at the underdog here, and most of the time,
Oh, okay.
I've never been proven wrong.
You like
If
do you like the underdog story too? Because I'm an
Yeah, man,
underdog guy
I
too.
was one of those stories, man. I came out right, so
Oh, okay,
I'll be
okay.
biased over here. Charlie's my guy.
I think I'm probably doing the same thing without thinking about the underdog story, because I like Charlie to break away, and I think he has it in him. And then, you know how Coach Prime or guys always say, you play the way you practice, and if you practice, you will play well. I think he's that guy because of his work ethics. You don't hear anything from Charlie. You don't he don't say nothing. I mean, isn't he studying like biochemistry or something like that?
That guy's doing a mad degree, mate.
Like
It's
he's
like a hate.
crazy smart, and
Mm.
then he's playing to this level where he just puts his head down and just does the work, right? So I feel like eventually this guy, you're gonna give him this ball in the Big 12, and he's gonna probably score on the first time he touches the ball, because people are not gonna game plan for him. I don't think anybody's gonna game plan for a walk on.
If that O line does his job and he reads his blocks well,
Yeah,
oh, I'm
I,
telling you,
I
man.
I feel like Charlie's gonna break off one from like the 50-yard line, and
Yes.
then he's gonna wake everybody up. Everybody's gonna be like, what was that? Who the heck? Who was that? Right? And then Charlie's gonna have his born day. That's gonna be his Charlie Offerdale's name is gonna be in the lights now. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen this year. Mark my words. Charlie Offerdale would be one of the premier backs in the Big 12 this year. Like straight up. So with that being said, guys, let's have final thoughts, and then we out of here because it's 9:00. Common Sense Buff, I'm gonna give it to you first, man. Make sure you plug your channel. Make sure you let everybody
Oh,
know
yeah.
where to find you.
All right. So it's been a great night, Harry B. Always a pleasure being on your platform. I appreciate you. Like I said, you are my mentor in this YouTube game. Your show inspired me to start my own channel. And then you're behind the scenes sending me email about how I can make better content. So that I appreciate. To the comments, to the TLP Sports, the Bandwagon Buffs, thank you guys so much for coming over to the channel and showing some love. It's at Common Sense Buffs. Simple spelling. Keep it normal and you're going to be able to find me. All right. Final thoughts. Listen, Colorado, they still have a lot of work to do between now and the first game of the season. It's great to talk about individual players, but like DC Carson said, we got to see them play together as a team. Right. And the big test of how all these very important pieces are going to come together and play as a team is on August 29th. The part of practice that we don't get to see is these guys putting together sustained drives against one another or the defense stopping 3-and-outs of the offense. We haven't seen that. We're not going to be able to see that until August 29th. So I think that's the thing to keep in mind. Not only how well are the individual performers going to be, but how well are we going to put it together as a team. So go over to the channel. I do breakdowns like this all the time. And Harry, because of your support, man, I'm about to have my first 1,000 view video.
Oh, word?
Yeah, in like
Yes,
7
sir.
days, bro. So I almost got a
Woo!
video to 1,000 views simply because I'm in here, I'm listening, you're mentoring me, you're helping me succeed, man. I can't tell you thank you enough. And to the brother in the chat that says stop kissing up, listen, you got to give people honor where honor is due. There's an ancient scripture that states that, and I follow those ancient scriptures. So Harry B, man, I appreciate you, brother.
And we're both African, so we know how that. We know what this is about. It's all good,
Uh-huh.
man. Look, I'm grateful, and listen, man. This is what I do. I'm telling you, I don't hide it. If I can help, I help because I know that if you, I'm in need. So somebody told me one time, if you're in need, give. That's the best way to receive is to give. So that's why I'm like, I'm always an open hand to say, hey man, if anybody needs something, like, oh, I'm here to give at any cost. Anytime I need something, I'm like, man, I got to start giving. That's what I've learned. So if anybody out there is at the sound of my voice, if you're hearing me, if you are in need of something, give. It could be your last. Just give it away, and you will see the blessings that comes when you give. So Cape Calm, my South African brother from another mother, brother. What is your final thoughts for the night? Thank you for coming on tonight too.
Now, thank you for having me, Harry. At Common Sense, I'm definitely going to look for your channel just after this show. At Harry, look, keep doing what you're doing. Um, I'm inspired by you as well because what you're saying is an African ethos. It's an African tradition. It's something that we ingrained from children. Giving and
Mm,
helping each other grows us as a people. So proud of that. Final thoughts. I agree with mostly what Common Sense is. We got to see us as a team. We got to see us how we progress from the 4 and 8. My biggest thing I'm looking at is we've had a lot of incoming transfers. Okay, now we got our crop. Can we produce yield? Can
mm,
we put on something that says we here, we're not joking around. You meet us on the field, you better come to play. That's what I want. I want dominance. I watched Prime at Jackson State. Those 50 burgers were nice. I enjoy that because hard work pays off.
mm-hmm.
But other than that, man, guys, continue to do what you're doing. Shout out to Common Sense for your thousand. Most I'll be your 1,001 views. But yeah, I'll be the 1,001 person. But hashtag BWB TLP Harry Brilliant. As always, it's been a pleasure. Sorry for I came on late, man, but I was looking
Oh no,
forward to
it's
Monday. If you have a show on Friday, if I'm available, I'm there, man. I'm there.
for sure. No, I appreciate you coming on. No matter what time, no, I appreciate you coming on, and I do appreciate you guys sharing. But my final thoughts are is going to be this. I think the Buffs they're being underestimated again, and people are going to throw stones and hide their hands again because TCU was great until they weren't. Nebraska was great until they weren't. So I think that's what's happening all over again. So when I do shows and I say, hey, what do you think are the best teams in the Big 12? Because I want to hold people to that iron, to that concept of, hey, y'all are not good enough. Because then when we beat them, I don't want I don't want them to hide their hands anymore. I would like for people to identify the good teams that are in the Big 12 because I feel like Colorado's going to beat them this year. And when we do that, I don't think people understand what's the best word I can say? The confidence that Coach Prime and his sons have. That they don't think that anybody, because of their name or because of what they've done in the past, is just that much better than they are. That confidence is something that we all could use in our lives, but I think people take that for granted, and they're going to see the results of that confidence this year because when they start winning, people are not going to understand it. I want the opportunity to let them know, hey, that confidence is what you're seeing displayed because you need confidence. Skill, everybody can have skill, but you need the confidence to go with that skill for you to be able to do what you do. If you're saying Caleb Williams, and if you're thinking, oh my gosh, Ollie Gordon or Avery Johnson, and some people will probably buck at those, and some people will probably be afraid. the thing that gives me a lot of confidence and I can start predicting really good things about Colorado is because Deion Sanders is so confident in himself. And Shador, his son, and Shiloh, those guys, and Travis, these guys are so confident. I'm like, sometimes I look at it and I'm like, man, God, I just give me a little bit of what they got. You know, just that confidence alone lets you know that when they step on that field, they're not afraid of anybody. Because when you go to war, you got to be like David. You can't be afraid of Goliath. When you're afraid of Goliath, you already lost the battle. And anytime Coach Prime and his boys step on the field, they're not afraid of anybody. That's why I feel so confident in what I do. So, hey, Common Sense Buffs is a YouTube channel. I don't know if Cape Con is a YouTube channel. He just started a name to watch his videos. But please go and subscribe to Common Sense Buffs, guys. I appreciate you guys. And thank you, Cape Con. It was an African show today. Thank you, Tim from Dallas, for spoiling that for us and stepping in here. But you know I love you, brother, for always holding me down. All my guys that were not able to come on tonight, somebody said, where is tennis? They're doing a wellness check. I feel like I may have put tennis on blast, and that's probably why he hasn't come around. But tennis, if you're hearing me, brother, I love you, man. I want you to come back anytime you feel like anytime that you want to come back, brother. Please come back, because this is a community of love and support. I don't want nobody to feel like I made them run away from something that they love doing. Because you shared tennis. You said this is therapy for you. I don't want to be the guy to take your therapy away. If this is something, even if you don't know an answer to something, brother, just come and hang out with the boys. Don't be afraid to come back and hang out with us. And I'm a bigger man to say I apologize for putting you on the blast if that's what's keeping you away, if I did do that. So I would have to say, tennis, if I put you on the spot, I don't know why I'm laughing, but I know it's a brotherhood over here. But tennis, if I put you on the spot and that caused you to leave, come back, because this is therapy for you. I don't want you to lose your therapy, man. I don't want to be that guy. Hey guys, y'all have a good night, man. I'll see y'all on Friday. Hopefully, I'll have you guys on the panel. And I'll see y'all on Friday. Peace out.
Yeah, peace.
Have a good night.
Ciao. Ciao.
All right.